Good evening, mathematicians, and welcome to Lesson 9.4 and 9.5. Tonight we're going to be taking a look at how to relate fractions, decimals, and money with real-world word problems. Our essential question is, how can you relate fractions, decimals, and money? If you would, in your Go Math book, go ahead and turn to page 177 and write this essential question at the top of the page. Once that's done, go ahead and push play and we'll get started. The first thing we're going to take a look at tonight is not in your Go Math book. We're going to go ahead and take a look at a review of money. And remember, $1 equals 100 cents. Even though we know there's multiple ways to get to $1, we need to remember that $1 is also 100 cents. 1 quarter is 25 cents. 1 dime is 10 cents. 1 penny is just 1 cent. So keep that in mind as we do our lesson tonight. It will be very helpful. Also, if you need to rewind, come back and look at this chart, you're welcome to do so. Let's move on. All right, mathematicians, go ahead and turn to page 177. We're going to get started. This is in our Go Math book, and this is where you wrote down the essential question. Number 1 is done for us, but I want you to pay very close attention to the directions. The directions say, write the total money amount. Then, so it's multi-step, then write the amount as a fraction or a mixed number and as a decimal in terms of dollars. So boys and girls, when we get done, we're going to have 3 answers just like they have here. And if I take a look at my money amount, I see that I have 3 nickels and 3 pennies. I know that a nickel is worth 5 cents. And I know that a penny is worth 1 cent. If I multiply my 5 cents times 3, I get a total of 15 cents. If I multiply my 1 cent, my pennies, times 3, I get 3 cents. Well, now we need to add these amounts together for a total of 18 cents. Now let's reread what the directions are asking us to write. It says write the total money amount, which I have here. Then write the amount as a fraction or a mixed number and a decimal in terms of dollars. I know that $1 is worth 100 cents, so my denominator is going to be 100, and 18 is my numerator. And we read that, everybody, as 18 100ths. So that is our fraction. Our decimal, nothing in the ones place, and 18 hundredths. So we have read the directions and written down all 3 types of answers that they would like. Now it's time for you to try one on your own. And we are still on page 177. So go ahead and take a look at number 2. Number 2 is the same directions as number 1. Let's go ahead and read them together and underline some keywords. Write the total money amount. Then write the amount as a fraction or mixed number and as a decimal in terms of dollars. All right, everybody, go ahead and push pause. Answer the question. Whenever you're ready to check your answer, push play. I know you can do it. Good luck to you. All right, everybody, it's time to check your answers. Go ahead and take a look for me. In dollar amount, money amount, I got 56 cents. Then write it as a fraction or a mixed number, 56 100ths. And as a decimal, 56 hundredths. Go ahead and check your answers, and if you need to rewind the video and watch it one more time just so you get the hang of it, go ahead and do that. But if you're ready to move on, let's move along. And boys and girls, we are still on page 177, and we've moved on to number 3. Go ahead and take a look at what I do. Now the directions have changed slightly, so I'm going to underline my keywords again. Write as a money amount and as a decimal in terms of dollars, because we already have the fraction. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. Once again, I know that 25 100ths can relate to money because it could mean 25 cents. So I'm going to write down just that, 25 cents. So that's my money amount. Check. And as a decimal, I know that if I draw my place value chart, and remember, if this helps you, go ahead and do that. I have my decimal here, which I'm going to bring down. I have my ones, my tenths, and my hundredths. I don't have any ones to put there, so I'm going to put a 0. And then I'm just going to go ahead and fill in the right side. So when you read this, you read it as 25 hundredths. So I know that my decimal will look just like this. Alrighty, everybody, it's your turn to go ahead and try this one on your own. Remember, you're going to write as a money amount and decimal in terms of dollars. So go ahead and try this with 79 100ths. And now it's time to go ahead and check it. So check to see how you did. Now, boys and girls, be sure to put your dollar sign in there. If you don't, we don't know if it's a decimal or if it's money. So just make sure you're going ahead and putting your dollar sign if it's relating to money. And we do have our money amount and we have our decimal in terms of dollars. Go ahead and give yourself a big star and we'll move on. Continuing on page 177, we're going to take a look at number 8. Number 8, once again, the directions have slightly changed, so let's see what they're going to ask of us. Write the money amount as a fraction in terms of dollars. So we're going to go ahead and take this money amount and write it as a fraction in terms of dollars. So watch me as I go ahead and do that. Once again, I know that my denominator is 100 because we're talking about money. My numerator is 87. So we're going to go ahead and double check that we fulfilled all of the requirements for the directions. Write the money amount as a fraction in terms of dollars. And we did just that, so we can go ahead and give it a big check. And we're going to move on to our next question. All right, Smarties, it is time for you to show us what you know. We're going to do the same thing, write the money amount as a fraction in terms of dollars. Go ahead and try this. Pause me whenever you're ready to try it on your own. And then whenever you're ready to check, go ahead and push play. Good luck to you. All right, and here's your answer, 3 hundredths. Make sure you got that correct fraction. And if you did, awesome. Let's go ahead and move on. And we are still looking on page 177, our page for the evening. And we're going to jump down to number 13. Let's go ahead and take a look at our directions. Write the total money amount. Then write the amount as a fraction and as a decimal in terms of dollars. So once again, we've got 3 answers we're going to need to provide here. The first one says the total money amount. Well, this is a little tricky because we have to think, well, what are 2 quarters worth and what are 2 dimes worth? I know together 2 quarters are worth 50 cents and 2 dimes worth 20. If I add those up, I get 70 cents. So it asks us to write it in the total money amount. Don't forget your dollar sign. And now the amount is a fraction. Once again, I know it's 70 hundredths and as a decimal. So those are my 3 answers. The money amount, the fraction, and the decimal in terms of dollars. All right, ready to try one on your own? And here we are. It's your turn again. Go ahead and make sure you follow all 3 of the directions. The total money amount, write the amount as a fraction and as a decimal. Make sure you have all 3 of those answers provided in the space for you. Go ahead and good luck. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and check your answers. Make sure you did the dollar amount, which was 34 cents, the fraction, 34 hundredths, and the decimal looks like this, 34 hundredths. How'd you do? I know you did amazing. Let's go ahead and move on. And now it's that time for a page switch. So go ahead and turn to page 179 in your Go Math books, and we're going to look at number 1. We are continuing on to lesson 9.5. If you take a look at number 1, we're still dealing with money. I want you just to go ahead and watch me with this one. We're going to read it. Carl wants to buy a bicycle bell that costs $4.50. Carl has saved $2.75 so far. How much more money does he need to buy the bell? The first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at how many bills we have here. Up top, it represents how much the actual bell is, $4.50. We know that he has saved $2.75 so far. The first thing we're going to do is use 4 $1 bills and 2 quarters to model $4.50. We have that here. Remove the bills and coins that have a value of $2.75. So first I have to remove 2 $1 bills. And then I go to remove 3 quarters because that would equal 75 cents. And unfortunately, I only have 2 quarters. But luckily, I know that I can break down one of the dollar bills it's down here, and I can make 4 quarters. So now I can go ahead and take away how much he's saved so far. So I'm going to X out $1, $2, and now 3 quarters to make 75 cents. And now all we have left to do is count the amount that is left. So Carl needs to save one more dollar and 75 cents in order to total the $4.50. And we're just going to write that like they've already done in the space provided. All right, guys, we're staying on page 177 for you guys to complete number 2. Go ahead and let's take a look at it together. Together, Xavier, Yolanda, and Zachary have $4.44. If each person has the same amount, how much money does each person have? The best thing for you to do for this one is to forget the decimals and the dollars. Go ahead and divide 444 by 3. Once you've done that, you'll figure out how much each person has. So go ahead and do that, and whenever you are ready, go ahead and we'll check your answers. All right, everybody, you should have gotten 148. And then if you take a look at where the decimal was in our amount, $4.44, and then you'll just go ahead and plug it in up top. So each person has $1.48. And to wrap up our evening, we're going to go ahead and do numbers 1 through 6 on page 180. Now remember, 1 and 2 are the new skills that we learned this evening, and 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all review skills. So go ahead and turn to page 180 and do problems 1 through 6. Again, do all of the problems on page 180. And before we wrap up our evening, don't forget to assess yourself. You can do it at the bottom of your homework page, 180, and make sure you give yourself a 1 if you really don't understand the skill, 2 if you think you're starting to get it but you may need some coaching, 3, practitioner, I can do it by myself, and 4, you're an expert. Go ahead and put that number at the bottom of your page.